Random disclaimer. Hey.
Okay, so I just recorded the first 4 minutes or so of that of the video, and my mic was not on. So let's let's just get back into it. I apologize if the audio switches up a few minutes into the video. It's because my mic was not on, but I'm not deleting that footage because I don't feel like recording it again. So we're just going to start back off from where I left off. So here we go. Okay, Bismillah. Assalamu Alaikum, everyone. Welcome back to the Daily Muslima channel. I am the Daily Muslima, and I do hope that this video finds you all in the best of health and iman. So today I want to talk about a topic that is very, how you say, controversial online right now, and that is the topic about Black women, Black women's health, Black women being overweight, majority of Black women being overweight. And overall, I just want to talk about health and fitness, especially as a woman, as a Black woman, as a Muslim woman, etc., etc. And where to begin? Okay, so I guess the reason why I want to talk about this, I guess I'll start there. Start with my intentions for this video. My intentions for this video are in no way to shame or to bring about any kind of negative feelings or emotions or opinions towards anyone. My intention for this video is purely to just share my honest thoughts and to just bring some perspective, I guess, on this topic as a Black woman and as someone who has struggled with being very overweight in the past, and as someone who values health, fitness, wellness, nutrition. These are all things that are very important in my life and things that I practice daily in order to live a fulfilling, healthy, strong, energetic life, whatever you want to say. So where to start? Okay, I guess maybe I'll give a little bit of context about me, why a topic like this and a conversation like this, why I think it's very, very important, why it's so important that we actually have these conversations honestly and not just in a way that is coping. So I am a Black woman, a Black mom, Black dad. My grandmother, I lived with my grandmother for a lot of my life. So I grew up around, the culture, eating a lot of foods, a lot of fried foods, a lot of things that were good, that were very tasty, but not always the most nutritionally dense. And I also grew up with my mother, and I'm so thankful for her for this now. For a while, I wasn't grateful for when she would tell me this, but she would always say things like, the women in our family, we get very big, and we do. So genetically, my family is very large. I come from a big family. The women are big, everything's big. Big boobs, big butt, big arms, big stomach. We are big women. And my mother constantly told me that growing up. And did it cause me to develop some unhealthy habits with food? Absolutely. Absolutely it did. As soon as I was able to, so my mother, love her down, she always just wanted the best for me as her oldest daughter. And so she would oftentimes, tell me, oh, you don't need seconds. Or she would, if I wanted to eat something like a treat, like a sweet treat, she would make me split half of it with my brothers. I remember Pop-Tarts specifically. I loved Pop-Tarts. I haven't eaten a Pop-Tart in, it's been some time. But I might go get me a Pop-Tart today. But but if I wanted a Pop-Tart, she would have me just eat one, and I would have to leave the other one for my brothers. And so this created this sort of restricting type of vibe, created some unhealthy habits in me. Once I left for college, for university, I was not being, restricted by anyone or anything. So I had so many snacks in my dorm. I would keep a bucket of snacks. I just had a giant bin of snacks, Pop Tarts, Nutella, chips. I've always been a sweets girl, so I had any kind of cake I wanted, anything that I wanted, I would keep in that bucket in my dorm. And I gained a lot of weight my freshman year of college simply because, again, my mom wasn't there to tell me I couldn't have it. So I had whatever I wanted, and I definitely gained the freshman 15 plus some. I gained the freshman, maybe, I want to say like the freshman 30. And sophomore year, or I remember going home for like the break, my mom pointing it out. And also in my black family, I will say, commenting on people's bodies was very normal. The older aunties, my mom, commenting on my body was always a very normal occurrence. So if I was getting bigger, I would be told. If I was getting smaller, I would be told. So that created certain patterns and habits that I had to spend a lot of time and work to unlearn. So there's a little bit of context about why I think this is important. I think it's important for Black women to realize where some of our behaviors come from in order to move forward and change them, because it's not foreign news to anyone that Black women are bigger in our society. We hold weight as Black people. We hold weight more. We have, you know, genetically we're predisposed to a lot of health conditions, a lot of, diabetes, high blood pressure, which is why it's even more important that we're having this conversation online right now in a very honest way. And we have to be honest with ourselves, because a lot of the times, unfortunately, we lie and we blame our genetics for our current situations when it's more to do with our habits and less to do with genetics. Genetics play a role in everything, of course. But we have to be honest with ourselves and look at the habits that we are doing every single day. If you are not moving your body, if you are not prioritizing hydration, if you are eating out multiple times a week, that was another thing with me in college. I would eat out all the time, and, sometimes if I didn't want the dining hall food, I would just go eat out. And that stuff really adds up in calories, it adds up in everything. So, yeah, I just think it's very unfortunate that a lot of people hear these conversations being had about how Black women are bigger. Oftentimes, we are the biggest in the room. We hear these things, and some women feel like they're being attacked. We just have to, it does take a lot to be honest with ourselves. It took a lot for me to look in the mirror and see that some of my habits were very, very damaging to my health. And it was hard to unlearn some of those things. But now that I've started, like once I started, it's like you can't go back. I remember sophomore year, I realized, wow, I'm getting, what's that guy? He's like, it's getting out of hand. I was getting out of hand, okay?
Later. Now, clearly, it's some symptoms to getting out of hand. Your face start getting a little bit rounder than usual. You getting out of hand. Y'all, the face will sneak up on you. One day you look at me, you like, hold on, I don't look.
And I'm like, all right, I'm starting to get a little out of hand. And people would tell me, you know, some of my black family would be like, oh, you're getting thick.
Oh, brother.
Oh, brother, you're getting thick. Oh, you look so good. And I was getting thick in more places than one. You know, I also went to the doctor sophomore year. I was told that my blood pressure was getting a little high. I was 19 years old. Why am I 19 years old with high blood pressure? And that was a real big wake up call for me. I was like, okay, I need to change how I'm eating. I need to change up something. So I remember I intentionally started to move more. I started to do like jogging. Of course, everyone's I feel like there's different phases of getting into fitness for most people, and for me I was a cardio bunny. Cardio bunny. All I would do was cardio and abs. So I went through my cardio bunny phase, and then I started to get into weights, and all I trained was legs. And then I started to learn about protein, and so like there are all these different phases of getting into fitness, I feel like. But yeah, so after I was told my blood pressure was getting high, I started doing cardio. I started eating more. I remember going into the dining hall and being like, okay, I think I know fruits and vegetables are good for you. So let me incorporate more fruits with my breakfast. And I was incorporating more vegetables and just trying to stay away from the fried foods. And I ended up losing a lot of weight. I ended up losing maybe like 20 pounds over the course of that year, sophomore to like junior year. I lost like most of the weight that I gained. And once you start, I slacked off a little bit, but then it's like, it's so much easier to get back on because the habits that I created compound. So even if I did stop, once I started again, I knew, okay, that's what worked for me last time. So let me do that plus this plus that. Anyways, I feel like that was really long-winded, but that's just a little bit of background about me. And now fitness and nutrition are something that I don't have to think about anymore, really. Alhamdulillah. Going to the gym is a part of my just normal life. I think of health and fitness as just general hygiene. I think of moving my body and eating well as just general hygienic practices for me. Once my mind shifted into that kind of thought process, I really don't have to think about it anymore. Alhamdulillah. It's not really a chore as it was before, where I had to think about, okay, what am I supposed to be doing? Now it's kind of just like, I live my life. I prioritize my movement. I prioritize my fiber, my protein. Yeah, it's not, what is that saying? It's simple, but it's not easy. And honestly, like the same thing with Islam. Islam is very simple. It teaches us to treat our bodies well, teaches us to put things in our bodies that are nourishing. It teaches us not to overindulge, not to overconsume. It's very simple, but it is not easy. Yeah, I think it's refreshing to see so many people online finally sitting and having these honest conversations. It is disheartening to see that there are still people who are not ready to hear the truth and are not ready to take accountability, because at the end of the day the day ends. No, I'm joking. At the end of the day, everyone has to take accountability for their own actions. In order to get the results that you want to see, you have to be very, very accountable. You have to be very real and honest. I don't see anything wrong with people being honest. You know, truth hurts a lot of the times because sometimes you're not ready to hear the truth. It is what it is. Another thing that I've realized, being in a bigger body and a smaller body, the way that people treat you is different. Your body is an outward manifestation of your habits and of how you care for yourself. So people are obviously going to respect you more if they see, oh wow, this person is not overweight. That just correlates to, oh, this person takes care of themselves. And people respect you more when they see that you take care of yourself. And it shows up in everything that you do. That's another thing that people don't like to hear. It's like, well, why do people have to treat me differently depending on blah 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 blah. That's just how the world works. That's just our human biology, and that's just, it is what it is. There are certain things that you just have to accept, and the sooner you accept it, the easier it is to make changes. Yeah, I guess I just wanted to get on here and give my 2 cents about this topic because it's very hot right now. It's refreshing to see that people are talking about this. I love to see Black women getting into fitness and getting into nutrition. It is so refreshing to see that there are, other Black women in the gym, even on the online space, more Black women talking about making healthier choices and high protein meals, high fiber, walking, getting active. I truly love to see Black women taking care of themselves because for a while there, y'all, for a while, we were glorifying this certain lifestyle that was really not healthy for us and not sustainable in the long run. And health and fitness are always going to be the most sustainable. I mean true health and fitness. I don't mean any of the crash diets or fad diets. I mean like making health and fitness a lifestyle and adapting it as a lifestyle, slow and steady. Slow and steady wins the race. And if you enjoyed this kind of video from me, let me know in the comments. Leave a like, leave a subscribe if you want. If not, totally chill. I'm just a girl who sits and yaps about deen, dunya, and everything in between. You know how we do it over here on this channel. I appreciate you watching this, especially if you made it to the end of the video. Leave a thumbs up. It would really mean a lot to me. And I pray that you all have an amazing day, and I pray that Allah makes it easy for all of us to adopt healthier lifestyle changes that are for the betterment of our health and wellness so that we may be able to worship Him in a more meaningful way. All right, that's it for me. I am the Daily Muslima. Until next time, Assalamu Alaikum.